Okay, so this is my presentation for my final reflection on my work this semester. And since I've been working since last summer, it includes some of that material as well. So I've been working for the Keenan Flagler Center for Sustainable Enterprise on a project to integrate sustainability into the curriculum. And this project is something that I actually initiated almost a year ago by reaching out to the school and proposing that, Keenan Flagler is a top business school. So why are we sort of stuck in the past in our business education and not including anything regarding sustainability? So um, this semester and throughout the whole project, my main supervisor mentor has been Jeff Middlestat, and he's the one of the executive directors at the Center for Sustainable Enterprise, and he's worked at Davidson before coming to UNC and has been doing this type of work for a long time. So my responsibilities were, largely self-created. Like Jeff and I would sort of, outline our goals, long-term and short-term, and then create my tasks together based off of that. So I did a lot of research on other like schools that we compete with, like Michigan or UC Berkeley, how they have integrated sustainability into their business programs. I also did some internal research on what are the existing sustainability opportunities at Keenan Flagler. Um, I have been working recently on a database of all the sustainability related classes at UNC and categorizing them based on the Sustainable Development Goals. Um, we have been presenting our findings to the curriculum committee throughout this process. And then based on our findings, we've been innovating ideas to implement at Keenan Flagler. And recently, um, there has been a proposal for a new introduction to business class that would be focused on sustainability as the main theme of the class. So we've been working on that as well for future years. So basically, the problem that I and my team have sort of outlined, and this is the way that we've been approaching this throughout the semester, is that there's lots of stakeholders related to Keenan Flagler who demand a change to incorporate sustainability into the program. So there's a huge demand from UNC students, especially future generations of business school students. There is a demand from employers and alumni who would like to see Keenan Flagler educating their students on sustainability in relation to business and how business can be involved in value creation to solve these problems. And that this is a really important stakeholder because employers, the relationship with the employers of the business school is really important for hiring, and also alumni obviously are very important for raising money. And then lastly, of course, society is a stakeholder at large because there's a moral obligation for future generations of business leaders to be able to drive change towards sustainability. So this is some of the analysis that I have done on this project. So on the left side, you can see this graph. We basically went through and looked at all the classes offered by sustainability or by businesses in the top 30 business schools. And as you can see, obviously the first category with the most number of classes is core business functions, but the second largest category is things related to sustainability. So that benchmarking analysis demonstrated to us that there's a really high adoption rate of sustainability classes by our competitor schools, and Keenan Flagler is going to need to keep up with its competitors in this regard. And then on the right side of the screen, you can see some regression analysis that we did based on the qualitative data that we found. And the main takeaway of this data is that the drivers of specialized offerings, so basically the drivers being like in the regression analysis, the drivers are what factors drive the result, which is the ranking of the school. So the drivers of specialized offerings, sustainability and curriculum programming, and external displays of sustainability values. So like messaging about sustainability on their website, for example. accounts for 38% of the variety in a business school's ranking, which this is an adjusted R square value that's relatively very high. You know, closer to 100% implies more of a correlation. But in real world statistics, this is a pretty high value, especially given that this was a small sample size and there's a pretty low amount of control accounted for in the drivers. So basically, you know, from all of this research, we came up with, this is just an executive summary of some of our ideas that we came up with. So we would focus on integrating sustainability both inside the core curriculum and outside the core curriculum. So as you can see within the core curriculum, the Spark curriculum is basically this sort of introduction to the business school orientation that students do once they're admitted. So we would incorporate sustainability into this to, you know, get students engaged early on in their business school career. And then we would want to bring a core course into the required courses that focuses on sustainability, and this would really demonstrate Keenan-Flagler's dedication to the initiative. And then lastly, we want Keenan-Flagler to adopt a cohort model, which a lot of our competitor schools have. So basically, you know, the students are divided up into cohorts and you move through classes together. And this would create an opportunity for students to collaborate across classes, such as, you know, maybe like it would be a project with a joint grade for your marketing, your finance, and your operations class, and you do a project on sustainability. And then so looking outside of the core curriculum, we wanted to create an area of emphasis, which is like a concentration in the business school. That's just the terminology that they use. That would be a sustainability one, so that students could really dive deep into that if they wanted to. And we also wanted to create a specialized minor related to sustainability because we believe that this would attract a different type of student to the business school who may not be interested in just a traditional business minor or major. And it would be a really unique thing for Keenan-Flagler to have. And then we also wanted to promote interdisciplinary action, so soliciting collaboration from the main campus sustainability departments, because obviously there's so many great resources there already, and they should be working with them to create something unique and have competitive advantage over other business schools. So my key takeaways from this experience, obviously I've gained a lot of skills, both more like hard skills and soft skills. So in terms of hard sort of business and analytical skills, I think I've definitely learned a lot about qualitative research and how to organize the data that you get from that, because you know, it's like a lot of going through schools' websites and sort of synthesizing and having to organize all of that into a meaningful way, as well as, you know, conducting benchmarking analysis and again being able to organize that and present it in a meaningful way. Database creation, especially, you know, organizing all of the classes at UNC into their categorizing them by the Sustainable Development Goals. I've obviously had to get pretty proficient with Excel for that, and then just generally problem solving and ideating based off of the research that I've been doing. I feel like I've learned a lot about that process as well. And then in terms of the soft skills, like communication focus, it's been really interesting doing this whole experience in the pandemic virtually. So I feel like I've learned a lot about presentations and slide creations, especially because presenting to the curriculum committee, not all of them are familiar with like what sustainability really means. You know, in 2021, a lot of them are just like, you know, think it goes as far as corporate social responsibility and that's it. So working to educate them in this process has been really a cool experience for me. And then leading and organizing meetings, as I said, this has sort of been my initiative from the beginning. So I had to learn how to sort of take charge in meetings, make agendas, because I wanted to be obviously mindful of everyone's time. And then lastly, I think I've definitely gained a lot of confidence in presenting and speaking again because of the fact that like this is my initiative and I have been taking charge. I've gained a lot of confidence in terms of like, you know, they actually want to listen to me and hear what I have to say, and it's just been really cool to like see myself as an asset to the team and to Keenan-Flagler. So in conclusion, I've really enjoyed this experience and I may keep working with them through the summer just because, what else am I going to do? And I really am passionate about seeing it through. And I'm really grateful to Keenan Flagler for allowing me to and giving me the space to do this project. And of course, grateful to everyone at the Center for Sustainable Enterprise who've been so awesome to work with throughout this whole project. But that concludes my presentation.